Cute as a cupcake, where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Get by Cute as a Cupcake at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana to get you those delicious cupcakes. Now, if you're anywhere else throughout the country, you can also get cupcakes delivered directly to your door. Go to www.cuteasacupcake3.com. Yes, that's www.cuteasacupcake3.com and have those delicious cupcakes delivered directly to your door. Cute as a Cupcake at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. Hey, so what's up? Welcome in all new listeners, all the old listeners. Thank you so very much for coming in and listening to the show. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Today, we're going to dive into a bunch of different things today. We're going to talk about how in the world do people have a credit score that might be 850 or above? Yep, you heard me. You can have a 850 or above as well. We're going to talk about that today. How does that happen? And the reason that came up is because I asked you guys over definitely last week, maybe even a week before that, to send me your credit scores. So if you've been listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show, maybe you started with a low score and now you're a little bit higher. Maybe you've raised your score 100 points, whatever it is, to send me your credit scores. And a lot of people sent me in their credit scores, and a couple people sent some in, and they are over 850. So we're going to discuss how in the world does that happen? How does that work? So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So the CFPB has come out with some things that may explain what's going on. So like the title of this show is like, why is it so long, take so long for my credit score or my credit report to update? So we're going to discuss why that might be because of some things that have come out and been revealed about them. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about that index a little bit. We talked about the index when it first came out. They first announced that they created a new index when it comes to your credit scores and how that might impact you and some of the things that they may use against you, if you will. So some things that you need to definitely look out for, and maybe not even in this order, but last but not least, we'll talk about some apps. We're going to talk about some apps that'll help you get your credit reports, help you monitor your credit score and things of that nature. So we're going to talk about all of those things today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. First thing I want to do, I want to give some shout outs right quick. So I got to give a huge shout out to Andrew Manning. Andrew Manning, one of my frat brothers, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated from the Alpha chapter, celebrated his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to you, Drew Manning. I got to give a shout out to Marcella Griffin. She also celebrated her birthday yesterday as well. And then Chantel Kelly is celebrating her birthday tomorrow. Now listen to me. If you are in the Chicagoland area, you need a realtor, you need to contact Chantel Kelly. She'll be able to help you out, and that's with a Chantelle. You contact her, and she's licensed in more than just Illinois as well. So you guys check her out and get your real estate on with Chantel Kelly. So happy birthday to you. All right, so let's jump into the first thing I think I mentioned the credit score thing. So how in the world does somebody get over 850? You should know by listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show that the scores run from 300 to 850, 750 to 850 being excellent, right? That's excellent credit. So how in the world do you get something over a 850? Well, one young man sent me a picture of his credit score, and it was 864. So I'm not surprised that you can get over 850 because I know that you can. But he sent me his credit score and it was 864. Now he was using Citi. So Citi, CITI. So he must have a Citi card or an account with Citigroup somewhere, somehow, and you can check your credit scores there, right? So it's got to be a credit card, and I'll tell you why in a second. So his score was 864. So I was like, boom, great. And if you don't follow me on social media, you should. I posted this and several other individuals' credit scores, of course, protecting their name and their privacy as well. So follow me. Follow me on Facebook, 800 Credit Score Man on Facebook. You can also join the Facebook group, Credit Score Comeback. It's 4 different words. Credit Score Comeback. Join that group on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram, 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram. And on Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _ Man. That's at Credit Score _ Man on Twitter. So follow me at all those places so you can get this stuff during the week if you feel like it, right? So this young man sent me his a picture of his credit score, and it was 864. Now I in turn it's like, oh, I have an account with Citi. Let me check out my Citi account as well. I took a look at my Citi account, and their Citi is using a FICO score, which is important as well. So it's not a Vantage score like you'll get with some places like a Credit Karma or Credit Sesame. It's actually a FICO score. So I went to my Citi because I have an account with them as well, and my score at Citi is 877. Now, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys I achieved a perfect score, 850, when it comes to FICO. That's your general score. Now, you have a bunch of different scores. It's not just because there's Vantage score out there and there's FICO score out there. And there's, 3 different credit bureaus with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You have a bunch of different scores, all right? And they can run the gamut. They can be really close. Your score could be a 800 with one place, and it can be a 825 with another, and then it might be a 775 with another place. So you have different scores all over the place. I have told you guys time and time again about some places being industry specific, and that is the case when it comes to having over a 850. It's industry specific. So you have a score that's going to be for your automobiles. If you're trying to buy an auto, that score is probably going to be different than if you're going to buy a home. So mortgages, they are industry specific. Automobiles are industry specific. So they have their own not scoring system. They use the same core principles, if you will. However, they do put an emphasis on different things. So if you're looking at like a mortgage, they may put a little more emphasis on how well have you paid mortgages in the past. Maybe they're looking at, did this person ever default on a rental lease somewhere where they were renting, something of that nature. When it comes to the autos, they may look at it and say, hey, okay, this person's doing really good with their credit cards. They do great with their mortgage. They do great with their student loans, but they've missed several car payments over the last few years. So that may lower your car score, if you will. And quite frankly, I have never missed a car payment. Not ever. Not when I was 22 and not now. I've never missed a car payment. However, last time I went to get a car, my FICO score, my regular FICO score, because of course I'm looking at it all the time, at the time was about 815 or 817, something like that. But when they came back, they used TransUnion. And when they came back and, I was getting my vehicle, it was at 795. So, it just shows you there is a difference in there when it comes to these different industries. So here's how this young man got his 864. He was looking at his credit card. Credit cards even have a different number. So we know generally your credit score runs from 300 to 850. Credit cards actually run from 200. You hear me? They run from 200 to 900. Okay? So it's running from 200 to 900. And so that's how this young man has over 850 as a credit score. Obviously, he's doing something right? So he had an 864 as his credit score. So you can just imagine that if his credit score is that good, when it comes to credit cards, it's got to be as good, if not better. It can't be better. It's got to be as good, close to an 850 with his regular FICO score. So that's how that happens. So It's not something you need to worry your little pretty little head about at all. But if you happen to have a credit card company that will be using FICO and they can show you what your score is, Citi happens to be one that this young man uses, and what I use as well. It shows that score in there. So you'll be able to check it out and see what your credit card score is. And that could be, again, it could be lower or it could be higher. If you've had trouble paying credit cards in the past, maybe that score is lower, but your regular FICO score could be a little bit higher. So that's just something that a little tidbit of information for you guys. And since we are talking about that, instead of talking about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau right now, let's talk about some places that you can monitor your credit in. So I just mentioned, Citi. I actually use the app for Citi. Of course, you can go online. If you have that particular account, you can do the same with other banks, Bank of America, Chase, PNC, whoever it is. You can go do the same. Absolutely. Most of them have apps, I'm sure, but you can absolutely do the same with a with their website as well. The place that finances my vehicle, they have an app. On the app, I can't get my credit score on the app, but I can get my credit score if I go to the website from the place that I have my car financed at. So things are a little bit different everywhere, but all you got to do is look around. People are giving out these credit scores, like it's running water. So there's no excuse at all for you not to know what it is or have an idea what it is at all. You can go get those things. So let's go through some of these apps that you can get with your credit reports and credit scores. So of course, MyFICO. They have an app. You can go to MyFICO. You can get your score there with MyFICO. Experian has an app. So they've got an app. I don't actually have the app for Experian, I don't think, but I have an account with them, so I actually look at it using the website with Experian, but they do have an app. TransUnion, they have an app as well. So you can get the TransUnion app, you can check out your score, and in all of these applications, they have a plethora of information for you too. So they can recommend things for you, recommend things that you can do to help improve your credit score. They'll even give you suggestions like, hey, if you pay down this much on a particular account, sometimes it's a installment account, sometimes it's a credit card account, then your score could potentially go up. So they give you those kinds of things. And then of course, oftentimes they're making offers to you. So they'll offer you a credit card, or they'll suggest a credit card, and it may not be something that they deal with directly. So it's not necessarily if you're using a Bank of America app, it's a Bank of America credit card. But like with TransUnion and Experian and maybe even Equifax, they'll say, hey, you should go get a credit card, and they'll make suggestions to you for that. You don't have to take all of their suggestions. It's just a suggestion. It's a recommendation, if you will. So just a word to the wise. You don't have to do all those things if it doesn't fit in your credit plan. Your plan to increase your credit, if it doesn't fit in that, don't do it just for the sake of doing it. Ironically, and I was surprised that I did not find an app for Equifax. So the other two credit bureaus, Experian and TransUnion, both have apps, but I did not find an app for Equifax. So I'm surprised that they do not have an app. You can also, another app is CreditWise. So CreditWise has an app as well. And of course, Credit Karma does. I mention them often, so often that I think they should pay me because I mention them so often. But Credit Karma has an app. Credit Sesame has an app. And then Mint Money Manager also has an app. And Credit.com. Credit.com has an app as well. So of these apps, let me go back through them. MyFICO, Experian, TransUnion, CreditWise, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Mint Money Manager, and Credit.com. So those are the ones that I mentioned. I think that's 8. So those are the ones that I mentioned. Now, of course, there are others out there. Maybe there's some that I'm not aware of for sure, but there are others out there. If you use something else, please contribute to the show so I can tell other people that they can use these apps as well. So if there's another app that you use that you can get your credit report and or your credit score, please contact me. Send me an email, 800 at creditscoreman.com. That's 800 at creditscoreman.com. Send me an email there and let me know what app you use, how you like it. If you don't like it, what's the ups, what's the pros or cons, or just simply drop the name of the app so I can take a look at it myself, and then we can pass it along to the masses as well. So